The moment the mug touched my lips, I knew. The smell was wrong, metallic, bitter, masked under sugar. He placed it in my hands with a smile that was too wide, too rehearsed. "Made you a special coffee, honey." I tilted my head, smiled back, soft, obedient. How sweet. Inside, my pulse slowed. Not fear, calculation, because I already knew what he was trying to do. When I first met Daniel, I mistook attention for love. He brought flowers, whispered promises, convinced me I was chosen. His family welcomed me, at least on the surface, but beneath their smiles lurked poison. His sister, most of all. She mocked my clothes, my job, my silence. To her, I was weak, a guest in my own marriage. But weakness is just patience wearing a mask. Over the years, Daniel changed. The affection rotted into contempt. He grew secretive, restless, bitter at my existence. I caught the late-night whispers, the texts half erased, the sudden financial withdrawals. He thought I didn't notice. I always noticed. And when the strange powders began to appear in the kitchen cabinet, labeled as herbal supplements, I knew what he was planning. So that morning, when he handed me the mug, I played my part. I lifted it slowly, inhaled, smiled. Then, as I lowered it, I set it down near hers, my sister-in-law's mug, waiting on the table. She was scrolling on her phone, smirking, ready to toss another insult my way. I swapped them with a flick of my hand. Quiet, natural, invisible. She didn't notice. He didn't notice. But I noticed everything. 30 minutes later, her laughter turned into coughing. Her coughing into choking. Her smirk twisted into panic. She clutched her stomach, eyes wide, skin pale. Daniel froze, his face drained as he watched his sister collapse. And in that silence, I looked at him. I held his gaze. I let him know, without a word, that I knew. He broke first. His eyes darted from her to me, horror spilling across his face as the truth closed in. He hadn't just poisoned me, he had poisoned his own blood. The ambulance came, the house filled with chaos. I stayed calm, hands folded, face serene. I was the grieving sister-in-law, the shocked wife. No one questioned me. No one even thought to. But Daniel, he couldn't keep still. His voice cracked when he tried to explain. His hands shook when the paramedics asked simple questions. And when the police arrived, because hospitals report suspicious poisonings, they didn't look at me. They looked at him. I had already prepared. Weeks before, I'd photographed the supplements he hid, sent copies to my email, tucked receipts away where no one could touch them. I'd documented the late-night searches he left open on his laptop. Lethal household substances, odorless poisons, how to fake a heart attack. He thought he was clever, but he was sloppy, and I had patience. That night, after they took his sister to the hospital and took him into questioning, I sat in the kitchen alone. I picked up the untouched mug he had made for me. I traced the rim with my finger. I should have felt fear. I should have felt grief. But all I felt was clarity. For years, they treated me like prey, a quiet wife, a punching bag, a shadow. But prey that watches long enough learns every movement of the hunter. And when the moment comes, prey becomes executioner. Weeks later, the police called, evidence stacked too high. His fingerprints on the jar, his searches on record. His attempt to silence me turned into the rope that strangled him. His sister survived, though barely. She doesn't smirk anymore. She doesn't look at me at all. Maybe she sees me now for what I am. Not weak, not naive, but dangerous. Daniel sits behind bars, his life rotting in a cell. His special coffee never reached my lips. And mine? My life finally began the moment I set that mug down and smiled. People ask me sometimes, did I plan to swap the cups that morning? Was it instinct or strategy? The truth is, it doesn't matter, because when betrayal brews long enough, revenge becomes second nature. And 30 minutes later, he finally tasted what he had been serving me for years.